Good morning, students. Myself, CA Vibhavadhavan. Let's continue from where we stopped yesterday. So, we were doing employee cost and direct expenses module, and we covered some of the concepts of employee cost yesterday, along with the provisions of overtime, along with the, how the whole payroll procedure actually we follow. All right. So we did the question, this illustration we did that, I think it was the last one where we stopped yesterday. And yes, I got the query for one question. That question from your study material was already there in the presentation later on. But now I have actually brought it early now. It was already there, the illustration that you all wanted to discuss. This one, it was already there in the presentation, but I again brought it forward. So we can do it, this one, we can do it first, and then later on we'll continue. All right, good morning, students. Good morning, all of you. So we take a note of this illustration. So we'll start with this illustration quickly. Good morning, all of you. All right, so there are three workers, worker A, B, and C, and it's an illustration for overtime, right? Worker A is paid 200 per day of 8 hours, worker B 100, and worker C 300. So this is the wages rate per day. We can calculate it for per hour also. Good morning, all of you. Let everybody join. So take a note of this illustration. All right, so we can calculate per hour also. So 200 divided by 8. So 25 per hour, 25 per hour. All right, and it's 100 divided by 8. So 12.5 per hour. So we can convert it into per hour. 300 divided by 8. It's 37.5 per hour. So wages rate we have just calculated just for convenience sake, because of course we have to calculate the wages. So worker A has spent all these hours, 10.5, 8, 10.5. So this is, and these are the total hours which they have spent in a week. Clear? So the total of 154 labor hours have been put in. So this is how the breakup is given. All right. So the illustration continues. In terms of an award in employee conciliation, the workers are to be paid DNS allowance on the basis of cost of living relating to each month. So this is the DNS allowance for the relevant month. Clear? Which is paid. So DNS allowance is payable to all workers. Each worker has to work for 8 hours on weekdays. So every worker has to work for 8 hours every day. Saturday and Sunday will be weekly holiday. However, workers may work on Saturdays. So on Saturdays, they can work for 4 hours. Though full payment of 8 hours will be made. Clear? So every week, 8 hours they have to work. Sunday is off. On Saturday, again, it's an off, but if the worker wants to work, they can work for 4 hours, but the payment will be made for 8 hours. Overtime is paid twice of ordinary wage rate if the worker works for more than 9 hours. So overtime will be paid only if the worker works for more than 9 hours. In a day, excluding holiday, the total number of hours worked out is this. So this is the number of effective hours, 176. Clear? The company's contribution, and it's already absorbed into overheads. All right. So the effective hours are 176 and DA is 968. So DA per hour also we can calculate. DA you have paid 968 in a month, and the effective hours in a month is 176 hours. Clear? So 968 divided by 176. So we have kept the per hour, ready with us. All right. So DNS allowance, now 196.8 and 176 are the effective hours in a month. So we have calculated the DA per hour. So this is exactly the question is we have to calculate the total wages including the overtime, and overtime is paid of twice of wage average. All right. So let us go back to this. See, if we talk about A has worked for 10.5 hours. I hope the students who had the doubt have joined. A has worked for 10.5 hours. They are supposed to work for 8 hours. All right. So A is supposed to work for 8 hours. 1 hour they have worked extra, but overtime will be 1.5 hour only. All right. So out of 10, 8 hours are normal, 1 is extra, and overtime hour is only 1.5 hour. So overtime is not 2.5. Overtime is paid, if you can see, overtime is paid only when the worker works for more than 9 hours. More than 9 hours, then only overtime will be paid. And overtime will be paid at double the ordinary rate. All right. So overtime is only 1.5. So similarly, we can just go to this, this calculation. You will understand it better. This is for A. So this is the normal hours for A, and the total hours A worked is, this is 10.5, right? It was 10.5 total hours. Total hours was 10.5. So out of this, 8 was normal, 1 is extra, and 1.5 only is overtime. Similarly, on Tuesday, worker A has worked for only 8 hours. Clear? See, these hours you should note down, and accordingly you will understand. So on Tuesday, the worker has worked for only 8 hours. So the normal time is, let me just explain you here only so you will understand. Let me erase everything else. Clear? So I'm doing it here only so that you will understand. 8 hours, no extra, no overtime. So Wednesday again, 8 hours is a normal hour. 1 hour extra and 1.5 only could be overtime. So out of 10.5, 1.5 is the overtime. Clear? On Thursday, A has worked for 9.5 hours. So 8 hours are normal. 1 hour is extra because beyond 9 hours, only you are paid overtime. So overtime will be only half an hour. All right. On Friday, he has again worked for 10.5. So 8 hours normal, 1 extra he has worked over and above the normal. But for overtime, it is only 1.5 because overtime will be given only beyond 9 hours. Saturday, he has not worked. So Saturday, so this is the total hours of A. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 40 is the normal hours. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 are the extra hours he has worked, but he will not get any overtime for this. So the normal wage rate will be for 44 hours. For normal wage rate, it will be 44 hours. Normal wage rate 44 hours, and overtime, how much it will be? 3, 4 and 5. 5 hours are the overtime hours. All right. So overtime hours, if we do the equivalent, it will become 10 hours because you are paying double the wage rate. So otherwise also you can do, the wage rate is 25. So for A, 44 hours are the normal hours. He will get the normal wage rate. So I'm just writing it over here. You will understand. For A, the normal hours are 40 plus 4, 44. So 44 hours into, he will get the normal wage rate of 25. Clear? So the normal wage rate will be 44 into 25 for the normal wage rate hours, 1100. Overtime hours is 5. Clear? Overtime is 5 and the rate is double the ordinary wage rate. So it's 50. Normal wage rate is 25. Overtime is paid for double the wage rate, though that becomes 50. It will become 250. And then DA. DA, we have calculated the rate per hour. 5.5 per hour is DA. The total amount of DA paid divided by the total hours. So DA is 5.5. 5.5 into, this is the DA for the total hours. So 44. All right. So this is just calculate the DA somehow. This is not working. Please calculate the amount of DA. If you do here, you can, there must be a calculation for DA. Yes, this is clear. So basic wages are 25, DNS allowance per hour, hourly rate is this, that means the total. Normal hours are 54. Actually, they have made the equivalent. All right, so they have made the equivalent for the DA. So this is how it is paid. I hope you have understood for A. Yes, very good. It's 1100 plus DA you can add. All right. So I hope you have understood for A. Then let us do it for B the similar way. Do it for B now. Students, do it for B. B has worked for 8 hours. Do it for B. B is comparatively simpler. Try to do it for B. I have told you for A, overtime will be paid beyond 9 hours only. All right. So do it on your own for B, all of you. I'll also do it and you also do. Do it for B. Students, I hope you are doing. I can show you the fresh for this A. So this is the hours for A. You can calculate, see now, okay, what here they have done. You can calculate the equivalent also. See, if you either you can, double the rate or you can, keep the hours as it is. Either way you can do. So either you can double the rate or you can double the time. The answer will be the same. All right. So they have double the time. They have equivalent the time. So if the overtime hours are 1.5, equivalent normal hours for overtime is 3. So they have double the time and rate is 25 only. So what we have done, we have actually double the rate, but the time we have kept as 5 only overtime. Clear? So either way you can do. So either you can do 10, you have double the equivalent hours, the overtime, and the rate will be 25. So it's also coming 250. But how I have done the overtime hours are 5 and the rate I have doubled. So again, it will be 250. So either way you can do. But I think you can, this is a good way of presentation. You can convert it into equivalent hours because overtime you are paid at the double the rate. DA also you have to take the double the rate. So you can take the hours as 54 only. Equivalent rate you can take. All right. So let's do it this way only, the way you have the presentation, your study material. Otherwise, you will get confused later. So the total effective hours are 54 and 54 accordingly, you can calculate the wages. So the basic also you will calculate. So basic now we will be taking as 25 only. Clear? And DA 5.5. So take the DA as and the equivalent hours only. So 54 into 25. Just do it. Take the equivalent only. 54 into 25 the basic and 54 into 5.5 the DA. Clear? So this is how you can do. Let's move on to B. I think this cursor is not working. I'm going slow so that others also join. No, DA also will be for equivalent hours. You calculate for equivalent hours, all right? You calculate for equivalent hours. Convert it into equivalent and take the 50 as 54. So DA will be 297 and basic will be 1350. Clear? So basic will be for 44 hours and DA will be for this overtime will be for 10 hours. Convert it into equivalent. Yes, Dev, we have done chapter number 1. No more students to join. I'm going slow so that nobody should miss this question. Okay, this is for B. So the equivalent hours are 48 for B. See, B has worked 8 hours all the weekdays. So no extras, no overtime, the total normal hours. On Saturday, he has worked for, let me see the question. On Saturday, he has worked for 8 hours. He was supposed to work for 4 hours on Saturday, but he has worked for 8 hours. All right. So B. So normal hours are 4. Extra hours he has worked for 4, but he will not get overtime. Why? Because overtime you will get only beyond 9 hours. So on Saturday, he will get the normal wage rate for 8 hours only. No overtime, even if he has come on Saturday. Because overtime has to start beyond 9 hours. Clear? So 44, so these are the rates. Again, you calculate 25 is the basic wage rate. No, 25 is not for B. 25 is not for B. What is the rate for B? We have calculated. Rate for B is 12.5. Rate for B is 12.5 per hour, the normal wage rate. So rate for B is 12.5 and DA is 5.5. Clear? So you can calculate the wages for B. Good. Yes, Suman, you please calculate now as per equivalent. It's better you convert it into equivalent. Otherwise, you will get confused. It's always better you convert it into equivalent. Coming to C. All right. Let us do for C now. Do it for C. Then we'll confirm. Do it for C. Again, C has worked for 10.5 hours on Monday. So 8 hours normal, 1 hour the extra, and overtime is only 1.5. Tuesday, 8 hours normal, no extra, no overtime. Again, Wednesday, 8 hours normal, 1 hour extra and 1.5 overtime. Overtime you're getting only beyond 9 hours. That is why. 9.5, 8, 1.5. Again 10.5, 8, 1, 1.5. Now he has come on Saturday also for 8 hours. So again, it should be 4 and 4. Clear? But they have, here it is written, they have written like this, but it should be, I think, 4 and 4. But it hardly makes any difference. But because otherwise also you are paying them for 8 hours only. Clear? It's Tuesday, it's 8. So on Saturday also 4 are normal and he has worked for 4 extras. So in any case, it will be 8. All right. And overtime 5, we have done the equivalent. So it will be 4. So 44 plus 8 and plus 10. So it comes to 62. So what is the rate for C? Rate for C is 37.5. Rate for C is 37.5. So just calculate the rate for C. It's 37.5 and it's 5.5. So this is how it is done. It appears to be a very difficult question, but in substance, it's very simple. Yes, 12.5 is for B. Clear? And for C, it's 37.5. So the rate per hour we have calculated. Please finish this question quickly. It's a good question to practice. I have added one more similar question in the presentation. So once the presentation will be uploaded, you can practice that question also. It's a very similar question. It was already there in the presentation, but since you asked, so I just brought it before. Otherwise, we had to do it. Yes, of course, you have to pay overtime. DA also. See, DA is part of the basic only. All right. So whenever you are paying overtime, you always pay overtime basic plus DA. DA is overtime is paid for, the DA is paid for overtime also. All right. So that's why we are paying DA on the equivalent hours, the total hours. Both basic and overtime will be paid. I'll give you 1 minute to complete this question quickly so that others might also join. Please complete this question. We'll move on. All right, so let me see. So this is the final thing. You can see basic wage rate, DA, total hourly rate, and the total normal hours. Clear? So this is how we have calculated. So this is the total wages payable for this question. So I hope you have understood. 25. Now the students who have joined late will keep on asking कि ये कैसे आया और वो कैसे आया. We have calculated the rate per hour, the late joinees. We have calculated the rate per hour, 200 per day of 8 hours, 100 per day of 8 hours. So we have calculated rate per hour. All right. So we've already covered this. Please join on time, otherwise you will miss. And it's very difficult to repeat everything for the latecomers. And DNS allowance also, we have calculated rate per hour. We have paid DA of 968 and effective hours were 196 in the month. So the DA rate is 5.5 per hour. All right. So I'm moving on this question. I hope you have understood this question, those who had the query for this question. Quickly, we have another illustration. This I've taken from maybe the RTPs or the last year paper. So just take a note of this question, please, all of you. Take a quick note of this question. Take a note of this question, all of you. Yes, done. Good, Mamta. I hope you have understood. In question mentioned that Saturday work 4 hours and payment made for 8 hours. What is this line means? Hardik, it means simple. On Saturday, it's an off, but still you are working for 4 hours. So if you are working for 4 hours, but you will get payment for 8 hours. It's why so difficult to understand. You are coming on a holiday to work. Of course, you have to get some extra payment only. Then you will come on a holiday, na? If you are paid, you are working for 4 hours and you're getting for 4 hours only, then where is the motivation? So it is basically the extra payment you are getting. It's not considered as overtime, but you will get a full day pay because you're coming on a Saturday. All right. Hope you have understood. So let us discuss this illustration. It has 4 workers, Ram, Shyam, Mohan and Kundan, and who are paid 100 per day, 120 per day, 130 and 2500 per month. So Kundan is paid on month basis and rest of the 3 are paid on day basis. Clear? Standard working days are 6 of 8 hours per day for the month of October. So 6 of 8 hours per day. So basically there are 6 days. For the month of October, there was only one holiday other than Sunday for which no payment was made to employee. Clear? Except Kundan. So for there was one holiday in October, and that holiday they will not get the payment because they are being paid day wise per day. Clear? Except Kundan, who was paid for full month, because Kundan was in monthly role, so he gets the salary per month. So he is getting full salary, but other 3 are being paid day wise per day. So for that one holiday, they were not paid. Clear? So if I write it over here, Ram, Sham, Mohan and Kundan. So it's 100, it's 120, it's 130 and it's 2500. Clear? So they are the per day rate. And in October, there was one holiday. So now how many days in October? 31. But they are not paid for one day. So into 30, into 30, into 30. All the 3 are not paid for one holiday or for October. But he is paid for full 2500. Okay. So how much should be the salary? 3000 over here. 3000 for Ram. Please calculate quickly. 3600 for Sham. 3900 for Mohan and 2500 for Kundan. So this is the wages and salaries they will be getting for October, the basic one. Sundays are considered paid holidays. So employees are paid for Sunday even if there is no working on that day. So Sunday we have paid. So for October, only one day we have deducted because October is for 31 days. Provident fund contribution 8% of monthly wages by employer and employee each. So both are contributing the same 8%, and ESI is 5% by employer and 4% by employee. So they have 2 contribution, PF and ESI. Good. Okay. Now, on the basis of information, you're required to calculate for the month of October amount of net wages receivable. So this is the net wages we have received. So net wages receivable. So this will be, they will be receiving wages. That means the earnings which the workers are receiving. They are not asking the cost. They are asking the earnings. So earnings, how much they will be getting. So calculate the total earnings. 3000 plus 3600 plus 3900 plus 2500. 13,000. The workers will be getting 13,000. And yes, you can do the contribution also. Net wages receivable by each employee. So 13,000 minus PF contribution. All right. So 13,000 less PF contribution. PF 8% and ESI 4%. So just deduct this contribution to the workers. Provident fund contribution 8% and ESI contribution 4%. Just deduct, you will calculate the net wages. Quickly, can I have the answer very quickly? Students, calculate the net wages. This is a question from your RTP. So I take different questions from here and there so that you understand. Can I have the net wages, please? Okay, 11440. Good. So be very quick, please. Now the total amount of provident fund required to be deposited. Total amount of provident fund which we have to deposit by the employer. So total provident fund is 8% both for employer and employee each 8%. That means 8%. So total salary also you can take the basic. The provident fund contribution will always be on the basic salary. So 13,000, 8% for employer and 8% for employee. So this is the amount of provident fund which has to be deposited. They are just asking what is the amount of provident fund. So provident fund will be deducted on the basic wages because there is no DA in this question. So otherwise DA is also part for the contribution. So can I have the value of provident fund, both employer and employee? Both the contribution will be deposited. Can I have both for employer and employee? Please check the answers also. All right. Net wages, we have calculated 2760. Yes. Please give the correct answer. Otherwise, others also will get confused. Do the calculations quickly. Now you have to be very quick. So second is provident fund required. So 8% on 13,000 for employer and 8% only for the employee. So what is the total contribution? 16,000, 16% actually it will be. So it should be 2080. Provident fund contribution total will be 2080. 8% of employer and 8% of employee. The third is total amount of ESI required to be deposited by the employer. ESI is 5% and 4%. So ESI, total ESI will be 5% on 13,000 and 4% on 13,000. So both the contribution of employer and employee of ESI you can calculate. Employer is contributing 5 and employee is contributing 4. So total 9% the employer will be depositing. Clear? So 13,000 into 9%. 1170. ESI should be 1170. Please cross check your answers. Yes. Okay, net wages. Just be net wages. I'm getting different answers. Why different answers for net wages? I've already calculated the wages for you. 30 days for Ram, Sham and Mohan and full month for Kundan is 2,500. So we have the wages. And make the deduction for Provident Fund and ESI both. And be careful. Provident Fund contribution is 8%. You have to, students, now which contribution you are deducting for net wages? Let me know. I think some of you are making the mistake. Which contribution you are deducting to calculate the net wages? Which contribution you are deducting? I think some of the students are making mistake here. That's why the answers are coming different. So these are the gross wages less PF less ESI. Employer or employee, whose contribution you are deducting to calculate net wages? This is very important. Answers are different. That means somebody is doing mistake. Which contribution you will be taking? Employer or employee? Which contribution we will be deducting? Employee. Now Srinivasan said not employer. This is what I've explained you yesterday in detail. Whenever we are calculating net wages, we have to deduct employee contribution. Employer contribution is added when we calculate the labor cost. All right. So employee contribution you have to deduct 8% and ESI is 4%. You have to deduct 8% and 4%. You must have deducted 5%. That's why the answer is coming. Employee contribution you have to deduct. Yes, employee contribution will be deducted. Clear? So second part we have done. Third part we have done. What is the total labor cost now? Here the labor cost you have to calculate. So there's a difference between first part and second and the fourth part. Total labor cost you have to calculate. Total labor cost means the basic plus the employer contribution. Here you will be adding employer contribution. Clear? In calculating the labor cost, we add employer contribution. When we calculate net earnings, we deduct employee contribution. There's a difference between part 1 and part 4. So employer contribution here we have to add. Clear? So employer contribution here you have to add to calculate the labor cost. So fourth part is you have to add employer contribution. Employer. Clear? ESI is PF 8 and ESI 5%. So to calculate employer this labor cost, you have to add the employer contribution. Yes, clear? So that's way you can calculate the total labor cost. And the fifth part, if the material cost is 20,000 and overheads are charged equal to labor cost, what is the total cost for a month? So can you tell me the answer for part 4, the total labor cost? Add PF and ESI, the employer contribution of PF and ESI, add to the wages, to the basic wages to calculate labor cost. Can I have the labor cost, please? 14690, I'm getting the answer for total labor cost. Can I take this answer? So the material cost is 20,000. I'm just now erasing it off. I'm giving space for the fifth part. So I hope you know now how to calculate the labor cost. So the material cost is 20,000. It is given. You have to calculate the total cost for the month. Labor cost, we have calculated. What is the answer of fourth part? 14690. Can I take 14690 as the answer? Since again one student has calculated it wrong. Can I take the answer 14690? 14690, the labor cost, and overheads are charged equal to labor cost. So overheads are also 14690. So this will be the total cost you can calculate. So this is how the question is done. The first you have been asked to calculate net wages. How you do? Basic wages less employee contribution of PF and ESI. Second part is what is the total PF amount, employer plus employee both. Third part is what is the total amount of ESI, employer and employee both. Fourth is what is the labor cost. So in labor cost, how we calculate? Basic plus employer contribution of PF and ESI. All right, students, now I hope you know, you have understood and you remember. Clear? And fifth part is the total cost. Material cost is given in the question. Labor cost we have calculated as part 4. And overheads also are equal to labor cost. So this will be the total cost. No, you should always show the breakup. So total cost is 34,690. I hope this is the correct answer. 25% as a whole. What 25%? You should always do the breakup. It's always better. Clear? So this is the illustration. Okay, so we have the solution also with us. This was the total PF contribution. This is the total ESI contribution. And this is total labor cost. See, employer contribution is added. Clear? To the basic. So this is the total labor cost. So I think this is the correct answer. What is 34,690? Students, give me the correct answer. 34, that is it 49,380? Please don't give me wrong answers. Please cross check and then give me the answer. What is the total cost? Should I take 49,380? 49,380. Is it the correct answer now? So I'm taking 49,380. I suppose, let me check from here also. Okay, so there are no solution for this. So I assume 49,380 is the 59,380. Students, please do the calculation. Material cost, labor cost and overhead cost. I don't know whether this is correct or not. The labor cost also should be correct. Yes, the correct answer is 49,380. Others, everybody, Shreya, again, your answer is wrong. Please do the right calculation. Calculation, nobody can teach. All right. So this question we are done with. We are moving ahead. We have done this question. See, labor cost, the correct answer is 14690. Material is 20,000. It's given in the question. Labor cost is 14690. Overheads are also equal to the labor cost. So the answer should be 49,390. 390 or what? 49,380. 49,380 is the correct answer, the total cost. All right. So just check your answers and be very careful. 49,380. I'm taking the, I'm 49,380. No typing mistake. Your typing mistake, and here I will write the wrong figure. All right. Let's move on, students. Labor utilization. All right. Labor utilization, see, in material, we did material consumption, like how much material is consumed. Similarly, how much labor is utilized. So two types, though this information can be, gathered in two ways. Number one, the information is gathered in the department. So the labor utilization in the entire department is accumulated. It will be noted on the basis of the time sheet, the job card, the time card, the employee card, in whatever ways it is available. So wage analysis sheet will be made. The entire department, how many are employees, how many are the workers, what we are paying. Then we will, segregate into direct and indirect cost. So direct cost will be absorbed to the cost of production, and indirect cost will be treated as overhead expenses. So this is how labor utilization is analyzed in a department. The other way to identify the labor utilization is the work order or job order or batches wise. So how much labor is utilized per job. So in this, of course, the job card which we make or the employee card, the information can be gathered. But through this, we can only gather the information for direct cost. When we make the analysis department wise, we have complete information of all the total costs. So we analyze into direct and indirect, both are available. But when we do the labor identification through job card or through work order, then we are only able to get information for the direct labor. We still are not able to get the information because indirect information is not there on the job card. On the job card, what the employee or the worker has worked on the job is given. And worked on the job is always a direct labor cost. So if we do the labor utilization analysis on the basis of job, then for indirect labor hours, again, we have to go back to the department only. Clear? So this indirect labor cost will be given by the departments only. It's not available on job card. Clear? So this is, how the organization accumulates the total cost and then, segregates into direct and indirect. Indirect costs are always treated as overheads, and direct cost forms part of the direct cost of production. Clear? Yes, good. This question was a good question. That's why I took this question. So it's a good practice question. That's why I've included this question. So I'm glad that you have understood. All right, now let's move to the wage payment and incentive schemes. So there are, different types of wage payment and incentives: time-based, output-based, combination of time and output, premium bonus, group bonus, incentive for indirect workers. So there are different forms of schemes in an organization which are based on time, how much time you have saved, output, how much output you have, how much more output you have produced. Combination of time and output, premium bonus. Again, if you have shown excellent efficiency, then, you'll get a premium bonus also. Group bonus, if it's a teamwork, so all the members in the group or the team gets the bonus. Incentive for indirect workers. So indirect workers also, contributing to the organization. So they also have, the promotion targets, and they also have some performance parameters on the basis of which they also get some incentives and wage payments. Clear? So two such incentives we'll be doing, time-based and piece race. But normally the premium, the overtime, and the bonus, the incentives which are paid are basically time-based. Straight time rate, under this system, the workers are paid on the time basis. Clear? So wage payment on the time basis. Simply, we all get the payment on time basis, whether it's per hour or per day or per week or per month. All right. So we just multiply the rate by the number of hours or whatever days we have worked, including normal idle time. We all get the payment for normal idle time also. Clear? Time-based wages is suitable for the employees. Of course, they who are executives, normally we get the payment on time basis only. So how we calculate? Time worked into rate for the time. This is the normally how we get the salary. Clear? Output based is those who are working on the job, on the directly on the operation. So how many output, how many units they have produced. So accordingly, they get the payment on the piece rate basis. Generally, the workers and the laborers get the wages on the output based piece rate. We call it as piece rate also. Piece means how much pieces or units they have manufactured. So it's number of units produced into rate per unit. So the rate is per unit here, not per hour or per day or per week. Clear? So now we have the bonus methods. There are two main methods, Halsey and Rowan. Halsey premium is the standard time is fixed for each job. Again, see the premium bonus method is applicable. For the premium bonus method, a standard time is fixed. That means how much is the time allowed to do a job, the standard time. And now the actual time which you have taken to complete the job. So if your actual time is less than the standard time, that means you are saving the time. So premium bonus method is if you save the time. Clear? If the standard time allowed is 10 hours and you are doing the job at 8 hours, that means you are saving 2 hours. So time saved. So you are saving 2 hours. Then only bonus is applicable to you. If you are, but if it is the other way around, it was 10 hours, but you are taking 12 hours, you will be paid for 12 hours. Normal wage rate, you will be paid for 12 hours, but you will not get any bonus because you are not saving any time. Clear? So premium bonus method is applicable only when you save time. If you are not saving time, you will not get the bonus. But of course, even if you are taking more than 10 hours, you are getting the wages for 12 hours only. You will get the wages for actual hours, but not the bonus. All right. So he gets his time rate if he exceeds the standard time limit. Since his day rate is guaranteed, तो आपको पैसे तो मिलेंगे चाहे आपने ज्यादा टाइम में काम किया है, लेकिन बोनस नहीं मिलेगा. So if he does the job in less than the standard time, he gets a bonus equal to 50% of the wages. So this part is the bonus part. All right. And this is a normal wages. So this part is normal wages. So time taken into time rate. This is the normal wages you will get plus the second part. This part is the bonus. How you get the bonus? 50% of time saved into time rate. So if you are saving time, you are getting incentive for only 50%. Now, what is the analysis of this method? A very interesting analysis. If you are saving time, 50%, you will get the benefit for only 50% of the time saved. And 50% benefit is taken by employer also. See, he is only giving you a bonus for 50% of the time saved. That means he's keeping for himself also 50%. He should have paid you for full 100% of time saved. But Halsey premium method gives you the incentive for only 50% of the time saved. Rest 50% is with the employer only. Clear? So this way the Halsey premium bonus is calculated. Rowan premium, again, this part is your normal wages. Time taken into rate per hour. Whatever time you have taken, you will get the normal wage. And this part is the bonus. So as per Rowan system, time saved divided by time allowed. Whatever is the proportion of time saved to time allowed, you will get as a proportion of your total wages. So whatever is your total wages, you will get an extra proportion of what ratio? The ratio what your time saved is to time allowed. Yeah, kitna percent in percent you have saved. So whatever time saved, the ratio of time saved to time allowed. So that person, आपने कितने percent time save किया है, उस percent के हिसाब से you will get the as a percentage of your normal wages extra. Clear? So this is the bonus part. So this is Halsey and this is premium. All right. So I hope you have taken the note of it. So Halsey premium, 50% of time saved into time rate, and Rowan is what is the percentage of time saved but to time allowed? Time allowed means standard time, and time saved is how much time you have saved into the normal wages you are getting. So you will get an extra percentage. जितना भी percent आपने time save किया है उतना percent आपको extra normal wages का और मिलेगा. Clear? So if your normal wages comes out to, let us say, 10 hours into 5. So normal wages is 50, 10 hours into 50. So 50 is your normal wage. And let us say you have saved 20% of the time. So 20% of 50 plus you will get the bonus. So whatever percent the time saved to time allowed. Clear? So this is small example. You can calculate the earnings as per Halsey and Rowan. Quickly, please calculate. Time allowed, that means the standard time is 8 hours. The actual time is 6 hours and time saved is 2 hours. Calculate the earnings as per Rowan and Halsey on your own. Do it on your own. Try it on your own. Calculate as per Halsey and Rowan. Please do it quickly. Calculate as per Rowan and Halsey and give me the answer. First, calculate as per Halsey. The total earnings as per Halsey and then Rowan. Which method the companies follow the most? It depends upon the company's policy. I'll have, there's some analysis also. Once let us do that analysis and then we'll come back to your question, Srinivasan, all right? So you will yourself understand which method you should use. Quickly, I want the earnings as per Halsey and Rowan. Any answers? Any answers for Halsey or Rowan? So here we can do quickly Halsey. Okay, answers are coming. Halsey and Rowan. First of all, time, rate and time taken. So time taken is 6 hours and rate is 60. So the normal wage is 360. This is the normal wages. Here, this is the normal. Now the bonus. Bonus is under Halsey, 50% of the time saved. Time saved is 2 hours, so 1 hour. 50% into rate per hour. So it's 60. Rate per hour is 60. So it becomes 60. So under Halsey, it is 420. Clear? Under Halsey, okay, it's 420 here also. Under Halsey, it's 420. This is the basic wages and this is the premium bonus part. All right. If I come to Rowan, again, the normal remains the same. 6 hours into 60. So normal will be the same. Normal wage rate is the same. Bonus will be different. The method is different for the bonus. Normal is the same for both. So it says the percent of time saved to time allowed. So 2 by 8. 2 hours time saved, 8 hours time allowed into as a proportion of your total wages. Whatever is the percent of time saved to time allowed, that percent you will get as a percentage of your normal wages. Clear? So how much you get? The bonus. It's 90. Clear? So 450 you are getting as per Rowan scheme. 450 you are getting as per Rowan scheme and Halsey 420. Can I check the answers? Yes. 420 and 450. 450 as per Rowan. So this is how we have calculated a basic example to understand how we calculate the normal part and the bonus part. You should be clear what is the bonus wala part. All right. So I hope this question is clear to you. Let's move on. All right, students. So there is one analysis done. Of course, it's part of an illustration in your study material. So I've taken the analysis part. See, now the student was asking which method is, suitable and which method is advisable. So if we just see the analysis, so there are the standard hours. This is the normal hours which is allowed. And this is the time taken. So these are the actual hours time taken and this is the standard time. Clear? So we have taken all the combinations of time taken. So the time allowed is 8 hours. The time taken is 8 hours. Time taken is 7 hours, 6 hours, 5 hours, 4 hours, 3, 2 and 1. So time taken, different time taken we have kept. And this is the time saved. So in the first case, time allowed is 8 hours, time taken is 8 hours, so no time saved. Second case, time taken is 7 hours, so one hour saved. In the third case, time taken is 6 hours, so 2 hours saved. So this is standard time, then time taken, and then the time saved. So 3 columns are clear to you. Now the basic wages. So the rate is also 8 per hour. 8 per hour rate is for basic wages. So the basic wages again, whatever the normal wages are as per the rate per hour. So time taken into rate per hour, which is 8. Clear? So 8 into 8, 7 into 8, 56. Clear? So the basic wages, the second column and the third column. This is as per Halsey and this is as per Rowan. So this is the bonus. Clear? So bonus under the total earnings under Halsey is 56 plus 4. Bonus under Rowan is the total earnings 56 plus 7. Clear? So this is how I am just making you understand the whole setup, what all we have covered here. The thing to understand is, see, till the time, I just look at the yellow highlighted part. 8 hours was the standard time, 4 hours is the actual time taken, and time saved is 4. That means time saved is 50% of time allowed. I repeat, time saved is 50% of time allowed. When time saved is 50% of time allowed, thus the earnings under Rowan and Halsey are equal. Earnings under Halsey and Rowan are equal. I repeat, when the time saved is 50% of time allowed is 8 hours and time saved is 4. When the time saved is 50%, or you can say when time taken is 50%, either way you can understand. When time taken is 50% of the time allowed, the premium bonus under Halsey and Rowan will be equal. So it's indifferent point. तो अगर 50% टाइम आप लेते हो ऑफ द टाइम अलाउड, तो कोई भी आप मेथड लो, earnings will be equal. But see, till you reach the 50% level, that means if time taken is more than 50%, I repeat, please listen it very carefully. I'm erasing the rest of the thing so that you understand. If the time taken is more than 50%, this part, when the time taken is more than 50%, that means time taken is 7 hours, 6 hours, 5 hours, which is more than 50%. If the time taken is more than 50%, Rowan method will give you higher bonus. But if the time saved if the time taken is less than 50%, if the time taken is less than 50%, then Halsey premium will give you a higher bonus. So just take the analysis, absorb it, try to understand. If the time taken is 50% of time allowed, then both earnings under both the methods will be same. But if you take the time more than 50% of time allowed, clear? 50% है मतलब 4 घंटे. If you are taking more than 4 hours, then you will get the higher earnings under Rowan. Clear? And if you are saving, if you are taking time less than 50%, that means 4 घंटे से कम ले रहे हो, so Halsey's premium will give you a higher bonus. All right. So that means if you are taking more time, more than 50% of the time, so Rowan scheme is better because it will motivate you. Till 50%, Rowan scheme, the incentive is increasing, if you can see. 7 hours, 7, 6 hours, 12. So till 50%, that means जो कम efficient लोग हैं, उनको इंसेंटिव ज्यादा मिलेगा. अगर वो 50% से अगर उनकी कम एफिशिएंसी है, तो स्टार्टिंग में रोवन स्कीम इज बेटर, क्योंकि आपको इंसेंटिव आपका बढ़ रहा है. बट इफ यू आर टेकिंग टाइम मोर देन लेस देन 50%, तब आपके लिए रोवन बहुत ज्यादा मोटिवेट नहीं है, क्योंकि आपकी अर्निंग्स आर ड्रॉपिंग. Clear? Then Halsey is giving you a better earnings. So again, the organization has to decide. अगर moderately efficient लोग हैं, बहुत ज्यादा efficient नहीं हैं, तो Rowan scheme is better. क्योंकि 50% क्रॉस करना मुश्किल होगा उनके लिए, है ना? सो रोअन स्कीम इज बेटर. सो इन अ मॉडरेटली एफिशिएंट, जहां पे वर्कर्स बहुत ठीक ठाक से एफिशिएंट है, वहां रोअन स्कीम इज बेटर बिकॉज दे विल एंड अप गेटिंग मोर अर्निंग्स. बट जहां पे हाईली एफिशिएंट लोग हैं ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में, वहां पे हेल्जेब मेथड इज बेटर because if they are taking less than 50% of the time, clear? So then they will be getting a higher bonus. So this is the analysis is going to help you, and you can take other combinations also. Lose for employee premium. That's why I'm saying you have to, it should depend upon the organization. अगर less efficient लोग हैं, तो that organization should adopt for Rowan method. Clear? It's just the comparison. All right. But if they are highly efficient people, then I think Halsey method is better. क्योंकि वो जितना ज्यादा टाइम सेव करेंगे, उतना ज्यादा उनकी अर्निंग्स, उनका बोनस बढ़ेगा. लेकिन रोवन में आप जितना ज्यादा टाइम सेव कर रहे हो, आपकी अर्निंग्स ड्रॉप होती हैं. Clear? So this way the organization has to create a balance between the two, and they have to make an analysis of their employees first. So this analysis is very useful, and you can take any other combination and try on your own. अपने हिसाब से कोई भी standard time ले लो और time taken ले लो. Do the combinations and then make your own analysis, and you will understand it better. All right. So I think this is helpful to you, and this will be able to clear your concepts. All right. So I have no doubt here on this. So you can write also, if the time taken is less than 50%, Rowan scheme is better. Time taken is more than 50% of the standard time. And if the time taken is less than 50% of the standard time, then Halsey scheme is better. All right. Shall we move further? All right. Okay, so we have this illustration, students. Please, good that you have understood. Take a note of this illustration. This is again under Halsey and Rowan. Two workmen A and B produce the same product using the same material. So they are using same product and they're using the same material. The normal wage rate is also same. A is paid bonus as per Rowan and B is paid bonus as per Halsey. Interesting. Yeah. So A and B. Okay, so A is getting as per Rowan and B is getting as per Halsey. Time allowed to make the product 50 hours. So standard time is 50 hours. Okay. A takes 30 hours. So A takes 30 hours. This is time taken. And B takes 40 hours. B take 40 hours. Clear? So this is how you just note down the important, information, so that it helps you to make the, understand the question better. The factory overhead rate is 5 per hour. Actually worked. All right. So factory overhead rate is given because you have to calculate factory cost. Clear? So how to calculate factory cost? Material, labor, and overhead. So there are three components of factory cost: material, labor, and overheads. That's why. The factory cost, okay, the total factory cost is given to us. The total factory cost for A is 3,600. Great. So material, labor, and overheads. And the total cost is given to you. Compute the normal rate of wages. Okay, rate of wages is not given. Material is also not given. Clear? Time allowed is given and time taken is given. So let us see how we do it. So the factory, let me just erase everything else so that you will be able to understand. Okay. Yes. So basically, material is not given, and both are using the same material. So material we assume as X. Under both the cases, we will assume as X. Clear? Now coming to labor. Labor rate is not given to us. So how much will be the total earnings under labor? So first of all, we don't have the rate. So rate, let us take the rate as Y. We don't have the rate of labor also per hour. So let us take the rate as Y. So the basic wages will be 30 hours he has worked, so 30Y. And here he has worked for 40 hours, so 40Y. This is the normal wages. Y is the rate per hour. Now the bonus. A is using the which method? Rowan method. A is using Rowan method. Rowan method is time saved divided by time allowed. So time saved, that means 50 hours was time allowed and 30 hours he has taken. So he has saved 20 hours. Divided by time allowed is 50. So 20 hours time saved divided by 50 into the wages. So wages is 30Y. Wages is 30Y. Clear? As per Halsey, so Halsey says the bonus 50% of time saved. He's taking 40 hours, so 10 hours he has saved. So 50% of 10 is 5. 50% that means 5 into rate per hour is Y. We don't know the rate per hour. 5 is 50% of time saved. Time saved is 10 hours. 50 hours minus 40 hours. 10 hours and 50% is 5 hours. So 5Y is the bonus. Factory overhead rate. All right. Factory overhead. So now overhead. How much is overhead? 5 per hour is overhead, which has already worked. So 5 per hour into 30. It has already worked. And B, the work 5 into 40 is B. B has worked for 40 hours. So total factory cost for A is 3490 and the total factory cost for B is 3600. So students, this is how you have to do. Material, I'll just repeat it again. Material we have assumed as X because it's not given and both are using the same material. We don't know the labor rate per hour. So labor 30Y, 30 hours into rate per hour is Y we have assumed and this is 40Y. Bonus A is using the Rowan method. So time saved by time allowed. So 20 by 50 into 30Y the wages. And as for Halsey, it's 50% of time saved into rate per hour. Overheads 5 into 30. So 5 is the rate per hour and 30 are the hours worked. So these are 30 hours and for B it's 40 hours. Clear? Total factory cost is also given to you 3490 and 3600. So you just make an equation out of it. So this is the equivalent, create in the form of an equation. Like for A, the first equation will be X. Okay, total factory cost. 3490 is the total cost. It makes material. Labor comes out to, just calculate the labor. So labor is 30Y. और इसको bonus को भी we have to calculate. Divided by 50. So it's 12. Plus 12Y is the bonus. And plus 150 is the factory cost. So this is equation number 1. Equation number 2, 3600 X material plus 40Y is the basic wages plus 5Y is the bonus and plus 200 is factory overhead. This is equation number 2. So you can add it also. You can make it 42Y and you can make it 45Y. Clear? So I hope you've understood. Okay. So now calculate the equation. You will get the value of X or Y and you will get the value of Y. So rate per hour, has anybody calculated? Okay, rate per hour is 7.5. You just calculate the equation. I hope you know how to calculate the equation. You just change the signs here. Change the signs. X will be cancelled. And rest you can, calculate the equation. 3600 minus 3490, 110. So 110 is equal to, this is cancelled. Now then you can do 42. So it will be minus 3Y minus this and minus 50. All right. So just solve it. So how you will do it? 110 minus 50 is 60. 60 is equal to 3Y. So Y comes out to 20 per hour. Y comes out to 20 per hour. Y comes out to 20 per hour. Mamta, we have assumed the material. You have to assume. See, factory cost is made up of material, labor, and overheads. And you don't know the wage rate. You don't know the material cost, but you know the factory cost. So factory cost is given to you. That means material, labor, and overheads, all three form part of factory cost. Material you have to assume as X. Labor, the rate is not given, but you can calculate the labor wages plus bonus because they are giving the bonus as per Halsey and Rowan. And then the overheads. Overheads are given in the question. Rate per hour and actual time taken. Okay. So the rate per hour is 20. Any other answer? I hope the rate per hour is 20. Wage rate 7.5. Can anybody tell me the wage rate? As per my calculation, it's 20 per hour. Reconfirm the wage rate. Maybe I have done wrong. Any calculation mistake? How much is the wage rate per hour? As per my calculation, it's 20 per hour. As per the equation I have solved. Okay, yes. So it should be 20 per hour. So the wage rate is 20 per hour. All right. So let me, okay, see, this is also the clear one, although I have done it for you. So let X be the material. So this is the equation number 1, exactly, which we have done. All right. So the equation is this: material, labor, bonus, and your overhead. So equation, the first equation is, you can write it this way also: 3490 is equal to material plus basic wages plus bonus and plus overheads. Clear? This is the first equation. So we have solved it. 20 per hour is the, yes, 20 per hour is the wage rate. I have done it here also, if you can see. Now you have to compute the cost of material. How you compute the cost of material? You have the wage rate now. So just calculate the cost of material. 3490x material cost we want. Now Y we have. Y is 20. So just calculate the wages. 30 plus 12. 42 into 20. So the total wages plus bonus is 840 plus 150. Plus 150, 990. So 3490 is equal to X plus 990. X comes out to 2500. Material cost comes to 2500. And material cost should be same for Y or for workman B also, because they are using the same material. All right. So place the value in equation B also. Yes. So here it is. 3600 for B, workman B. X plus 40 is the normal wages plus bonus 5Y plus 200. Clear? So here also you place the value of Y, which is 20 per hour. And you will be calculating X. So X should come 2500. Check for B also. Is X coming 2500? Check for B also, place Y in equation 2 and check for the material cost. Is it coming 2500 in workman B case also? Material should come the same because they are using same material. No, material is wrong, Suman. The material is wrong. You have to place the material value. See, this I have done. I have placed the value of Y as 20. So material should come 2500. Calculate the cost of material. Yes, material comes to 2500, but it should come in both the cases, for A also, for B also. All right. Place the value of Y in both the equations and cross check. The X should come. See, you can place the value in either of the equation. Both should give you the same answer. All right, good. So that means we are on the right track and we have done the right calculations. So this is how it is done. A very good question for practice. This is clear. So now we can calculate the factory cost. Material cost is the same. Wages, the normal wages as per the rate per hour. And this is the bonus. This is factory overhead. And this becomes the total cost, which was already given in the question. Clear? So this is how it is done. Oh, yes. See, There's one, this question, they have, whosoever has made this question, they have used their mind. Normally, what we say, by default, Halsey and Rowan. But in this question, they have used Rowan and Halsey. For workman A, they have used Rowan. In exams also, such type of mistakes students do. They subconsciously, they think that first should be Halsey and then it should be Rowan. But in this case, for workman A, Rowan has to apply. And for B, Halsey is to be applied. Like, one of two students have done the wrong thing. So the entire solution is wrong, even if you know it. So be very careful. That's why it's my habit from the time when I used to study. I always used to, jot down the important points while I was reading the question. Like, so the same way I teach also. If I'm teaching, I just underline. Okay, so A is using, see, I have written here, A is using Rowan and B is using Halsey. In CA exams, you just cannot afford any mistake or any carelessness or any casual attitude. You have to be very, very alert. Clear? So it's always better while reading the question, note down the important figures. You actually has to use, you have to use those figures. So the moment I write A and B, okay, I've written A and B. Then the same product and same material I've underlined. Then the wage rate is again the bonus as per Rowan and as per Halsey. So it always, helps you. Confusion nahi rehta fir. Clear? So this is how it is done. So we'll take a 5 minutes break here, and we'll okay. So students, there is one more illustration. You can just do practice, and I'll just come after a break of 5 minutes. By that time, you can just try to attempt this question. We'll not be discussing it in detail. I mean, it's just a practice illustration. Then we'll move forward to the other concepts. All right. So just a 5-7 minute break. Till the time, just practice this question, please. All right, students, let's get back to the illustration. I hope you have read the illustration and ready to solve. You must have solved. It's just the way we have done the previous one. So just explain you how it is done, but you will do it on your own, okay? So the wage rate is given to us in this question, and the standard time per unit is 4 hours. So time allowed is given to us and has been paid wages under Rowan scheme. So we are paying wages to this worker under the Rowan plan, incentive plan, and he has earned an effective hourly rate. So it's effective hourly rate. Effective rate है बेटा ये. Total earnings नहीं है. Earned an effective hourly rate of 37.5 on the manufacture of that particular product. Said what could have been his total earnings had okay. So you have to calculate the earnings and effective hour per rate as per Halsey. But you don't know the rate per hour. So first we'll be calculating the rate per hour and then we will be calculating the entire thing under Halsey method. But we need the time taken is not there. Okay. So we have the standard time, which is 4 hours. And the rate per hour also is there. It's 30 per hour. We don't know the time taken. Time taken, we don't know. Clear? So, but we don't know the effective hourly rate. Effective hourly rate we know. So, the total earnings would be, so effective hourly rate, how to calculate the total earnings from effective hourly rate, the total earnings under Rowan would be 37.5 into time taken. Hourly rate means they must have divided by time taken, so the hourly rate has come. So if I want to calculate total earnings, I will multiply by time again. Clear? So that means 37.5 into time taken. Time taken can be taken as T here. So T is time taken. Clear? These are the total earnings. So Rowan, under Rowan again, how much is the rate per hour? 30. So 30 and time taken is T. Rate per hour is 30. Time taken we don't know. Plus under Rowan, we say time saved by time allowed. So time saved again, we don't know. So time, what is time saved? Time saved could be time allowed, which is 4. Time allowed minus time taken. So I have written time saved as time allowed minus time taken. That will be time saved only. So I've written in this way because we have the standard time with us. Divided by the time allowed, which is 4 into 30t. So this is how I've made the equation. 37.5 into time taken because total earnings. We have been given hourly rate. Rate per hour हमें दिया हुआ है. हमें total earnings निकालनी है. So hourly rate into time taken will be the total earnings is equal to 30t plus 4 minus t. So anybody has solved it? The answers in the first two methods, and which one is? Which question you are talking about? Is the previous question you are talking about? Is the previous question, which question you are talking about? I don't understand. All right. So this is the equation. Again, anybody has solved? How much is the time taken? Anybody has solved the equation? You just have to solve the equation. So just solve this equation. Okay, time taken. So this, if you solve this equation, time taken will be 3 hours. All right. So time taken is 3 hours. So that means we have got it. Now we can calculate for Halsey. Clear? You just have to solve the equation. You will achieve the time taken as 3 hours. Now we can, I'm just clear it off. Now calculate for Halsey. Okay. So under Halsey, how we calculate the total earnings? 30 wage rate into time taken is now 3 hours. That we know. Plus now the bonus. How much is time allowed? 4 hours and time taken is 3 hours. So time saved is 1 hour. But you take 50% of time saved. That means 0.50, half an hour into the rate per hour, which is 30. So this is the total earnings under Halsey. Clear? Just cross check the answer. 90 plus 15. So 105 should be the total earnings under Halsey. 105 total. Now effective hourly rate means divided by the time taken, which is 3. You will get the divided by 3. 35 per hour is the effective hourly rate under Halsey. Clear? So how you calculate effective hourly rate? Whatever is the total earnings divided by time taken, you will calculate the effective hour rate. Similarly, for Rowan, it was 37.5. So from hourly rate, how you calculate the total earnings? Multiply by time taken, which is 3. You will get the total earnings. Clear? So this is how it is done. Okay. So though you see mathematical equations, at least you should know how to calculate the equations, because lot of questions are solved through you have to form these equations. So those who are weak in maths, practice a lot of such questions where you have to frame equations. All right, because half of the questions will be for missing figures, something or the other is not given to you. So you should be very clear how to form an equation. Clear? Okay, very good. So this is how we calculate. Shall we move further? I hope you have understood this. All right, students. Now, a very important concept we will be proceeding with, which is absorption of wages. So we have done with the premium bonus methods and a lot of practice questions we have done. So I hope you have understood it. So if I just ask you very quickly, very quick answer I need. If the time taken is more than 50%, if the time taken is more than 50%, which premium method is advisable? I want a quick answer. If the time taken is more than 50% of time allowed, if time taken is more than 50% of the time allowed. So first question, are you less efficient or more efficient? And the second question, which method you should use? I repeat my question. If the time taken is more than 50% of the time allowed, are you less efficient or more efficient? And my second question, which premium bonus method is advisable? Or which method will give you more earnings? Very good, Rowan method. So if the time taken is more than 50% of the time allowed, that means you are less efficient. So जो moderate efficient लोग होते हैं उनके लिए Rowan method उनको ज्यादा earning देता है. So Rowan method will motivate them to be more efficient, earn more, produce more. In that way, the bonus will be higher. But once you are becoming highly efficient एम्प्लॉइज में रोवन मेथड से अर्निंग्स प्रीमियम जो बोनस है वो कम होता चला जाएगा. सो इन हाईली एफिशिएंट पीपल हेल्जे मेथड सूट्स देम मोर, लेस एफिशिएंट पीपल the Rowan method suits them well. Very good, very good. So I hope now I have, I'm satisfied that you have understood. So this is how the analysis helps you to understand the concepts better. And that is again, our purpose here. All right, so let's start with absorption of wages. So see, there is one very important question. Now we know what are direct cost and what are indirect cost, right? It's not the absorption of wages is not about indirect cost. Clear? So there is direct cost and there is indirect cost. Clear? So first thing you need to understand is everything you are paying to indirect workers. I repeat, everything you are paying to indirect workers are overheads. Everything. You pay basic to them, you pay DA to them, you pay overtime, you pay you contribute towards the PF, ESI, you pay them leave wages, you pay them idle time, whatever you are paying to indirect workers. Every part of the wages or salary or anything which you are paying are overheads because you are paying to indirect workers. The question here is for direct cost, for direct labor cost, I mean, for direct workers. Direct cost means for direct labor cost. We are talking about direct labor cost. So now the question arises, how the direct labor cost should be absorbed? is the entire labor cost which we are paying to direct workers should be part of cost of production, or should some part be treated as overheads? I repeat, this is very, very important. How the wages should be absorbed in the costing. I repeat, it's not about how much earnings the workers are taking along with them. It's not about net earnings. The question we are discussing here is the labor cost question. How much of labor cost should be part of the cost of production? How much part of the labor cost should be treated as overheads? We are talking about labor cost. It has nothing to do with the earnings which the employees are earning. For example, there are many benefits which we are giving to employees, which carries a cost to the company. So I'm talking about CTC, cost to the company. I'm not talking about the salary which we are paying to employee. These are the different things that we have discussed already. Clear? So if whatever I'm paying, let us say whatever I am paying, the earnings of the employees, the earnings, what are the earnings? And let us say the labor cost. So I'm just giving you a comparison here. Try to understand. This is very important. Earnings and labor cost. So normally we think whatever we are paying to employee is a labor cost only. So both the amount should be equal. No. We are paying basic to employees, basic salary. So it is earnings also and it is a labor cost also. I'm paying DA to them. It is earnings also, it is labor cost also. That means employee will get in cash. Clear? Cash or whatever. It's a monetary benefit. Clear? Now I'm giving overtime to employee. It's earnings also and labor cost also. Clear? Now employee contribution. I'm now talking about employer contribution. Employer contribution I'm talking about. Employer contribution is not as a part of earnings, but it is labor cost. Clear? I'm providing medical facility to an employee. Medical facility to an employee. It's not given in cash, but it is a cost to the employer. So a cost to the employer, that means the labor cost is much, much more than the earnings which the employee is taking away home. You're getting the point? So here the question is the labor cost, not the earnings. Earnings are very clear. Whatever the employee is taking home, that is earnings for him. But we are incurring many other expenditure. Why? How? What are the other kind of expenditure? We are paying holiday leave to them. We are giving them salary when they are on leave. We are paying them salary when they are on, for idle time also we are paying. We are contributing towards PF. We are contributing towards ESI. We are contributing towards medical facility. We are giving them education facility. We are giving them training facilities. We are giving them housing facilities. We are giving them free lunches. We are giving them tea breaks. We are giving them snacks. We are giving them recreation facilities. We are giving them club memberships. Everything carries a cost to the employer. So the non-monetary, if we talk about non-monetary, it's not part of earnings of the employee. Earning तो कहेगा वो employee तो earning वही मानता है जो उसको हाथ में पैसा मिलता है. But employer incurs expenditure on many other things. So here is a question of labor cost, the employee cost to the employer, not the earnings. Is it clear? So now we will be discussing about the labor cost, not the earnings. That should be clear to you. So I'll just erase the other things. I hope you have understood what exactly we are trying to discuss. Clear? So now focusing on the labor cost. So there are two schools of thought. Again, and we are more focusing on direct cost. Indirect cost is the question here is how much of employee cost should be part of cost of production and how much should be part of overheads. I repeat, the question is how much part of direct cost again, how much indirect cost again we are not, because indirect cost, everything is overhead. There is no doubt. There is no question for discussion. Here, everything we are paying to indirect employees is overhead. The question here is how much is part of direct labor cost should be part of cost of production and how much should be the overheads. This is a question which we have to discuss, the absorption of wages. Wages means normally wages constituted by is direct cost only. Indirect हम salaries बोलते हैं. So generally wages is direct cost. So how we have to absorb the wages. So how much of wages or the monetary benefits or the non-monetary we should consider part of cost of production or overheads. So there are two schools of thought. Number one, entire thing which we are paying to direct laborers, entire thing, monetary, non-monetary, holiday pay, idle time pay, PF contribution of employer, ESI contribution of employer, whatever we are incurring on direct workers, everything should form part of cost of production by calculating the rate. Clear? How we calculate the rate? Total expenditure incurred, total cost incurred, monetary, non-monetary contributions, everything divided by effective hours. Effective hours means you deduct the normal idle time hours. Effective hours, you deduct the holiday hours, holiday days. Clear? Effective hours means the working hours, the productive hours. So then you calculate the labor cost per hour. So that means every cost is absorbed in the rate per hour, and so all the products will share all the cost for direct workers. The other school of thought is, the other alternative is, the other option is only the monetary and the basic part. Clear? That, the other, that is basic, DA, overtime, whatever you are actually paying them should be part of cost of production, and non-monetary, all those non-monetary plus all those holiday pay, all those pay on leave, all those idle time pay which you are giving, everything should form part of overheads. So you understood the difference? The first alternative is the entire cost you are incurring on the direct workers should form part of cost of production. How? You have to calculate the rate per hour. So it should form part of the total cost, monetary, non-monetary, holiday, idle time, contribution, everything. Whatever is the total cost you are incurring divided by effective hours. Effective hours means the actual hours worked. उसमें से टोटल आवर्स में से आप हॉलीडे लेस कर दो, लीव के डेज लेस कर दो, आइडल टाइम के आवर्स लेस कर दो, टोटल इफेक्टिव आवर्स जितने प्रोडक्टिव आवर्स हैं उसको लेस करो. So you will calculate the rate per hour. तो rate per hour higher आएगा. That means everything will be absorbed through rate per hour and it will be absorbed in the cost of production. The other alternative is keep the basic pay, the monetary, the basic pay as the direct cost, and consider all non-monetary contributions, holiday, idle time, treat it as overheads. Clear? So there are two alternatives. So that exactly is the concept of absorption of wages. Again, that is the discretion of the organization, how they have to do. So I repeat, this absorption of wages discussion is for the direct cost. There is no discussion for indirect. Everything to indirect laborers is an overhead only. So the discussion is how much to consider as direct cost and how much should be the overheads. Clear? So now let's try to understand from the point of view of the employer. So wages should be taken to include also non-monetary benefits. All right, which an employee receives by virtue of employment. So normally from the point of view of the employer, what the employer would think, we are also incurring for non-monetary, so that also should form part of the wages, not only the monetary which the employee is taking along with him, but we are incurring for non-monetary also. So non-monetary also should be part of the cost. So these are the non-monetary: medical, education, training, recreation, sports, housing, welfare, canteen, subsidies, whatever you are giving the facility, everything carries a cost to the employer. Therefore, while computing the wages cost per hour, the monetary value of such non-monetary should also be taken into account to calculate the cost of production. It should be form part of the direct cost only. Clear? The monetary, all these are monetary remuneration, basic, DNS, overtime, special, everything. All right. So one is monetary should form part of direct cost and the non-monetary should be overheads. The other perspective is even the holiday, idle time, night shift allowance, employer's contribution, this should form part of overheads and the rest should form part of the direct cost. So this is the other perspective. So that is the discussion here. All right. So, okay. So this is an illustration to understand it better. So this illustration is when we calculate the wage rate per hour, taking everything as part of wages. So this illustration is we take the total labor cost as, we will, total labor cost will be absorbed as wages and not as overheads. Clear? By calculating the rate per hour. Okay. Good. Good. I am glad the students are able to understand what I'm trying to explain. So this is an illustration. A worker is paid 10,000 per month and a DNS allowance of 2,000 per month. Clear? So DA, I'm just doing it over here. So basic is 10,000 per month. So into 12, I think you can do. And DNS allowance, DA is 2,000 per month. So 2,000 into 12. Worker contribution. Worker means employee contribution to Provident Fund is 10% and employer also contributes the same. So employer contribution. See, we are here now. We have been given both the contribution, employee and employer. Employee contribution is 10% and the employer also contributes the same. Students, the question which we are doing, which contribution is relevant for us in this question? Which contribution matters to us? That discussion is on which contribution, employee or employer? You tell me now. Both the contributions are given to us, worker contribution and employer contribution. Our concern here is which contribution, employer or employee? Which contribution we have to take into account? Tell me. Very good. It's employer because the discussion point here is labor cost. And employer contribution is a part of the labor cost. Employee contribution तो उसका अपना पैसा है जो हम उसको less करके deduction करके दे रहे हैं. But over and above the what we are paying to the employee in hand, we are also contributing towards his provident fund. Clear? So employer contribution, you have to add 10%. Clear? The employee state insurance premium is 6% of the wages, of which 7.5% is paid by employee. Again, so this is PF. So ESI contribution, employee contribution is given. Here also, which contribution we have to take? Employer. So 6.5 is the total, out of which 1.75 is for employee. How much is for employer now? Can you tell me how much is for employer? Yes, employer contribution is important. Clear? So can you tell me the percentage of employer contribution of ESI? It's not given in the question, but you can actually calculate. Till the time I will calculate the bonus. Firms practice to pay 2 months wages as bonus. So 2 months wages, bonus will all be, whenever we talk about wages, it should always be basic and DA both. Clear? So calculate the wages part. Bonus, how much bonus? Whenever we say 2 months wages, wages generally means basic plus DA only. Clear? हमेशा बेसिक और डीए दोनों मिला के वेजेस होते हैं. Yes, employer 4.75. Okay. So ESI is, employer is 4.75% of, again, it should be 10% and 4.7% of basic and DA both. Clear? So now can you calculate the total cost? So what is a part of total cost? Basic plus DA plus employer PF contribution plus employer ESI contribution plus 2 months of wages. Can you tell me the total cost to the employer? So we are absorbing everything in the employee cost here. So this, we are following the first alternative. We are absorbing the entire cost, the basic, the DA, the bonus, the employer contribution also, everything we are considering and absorbing as part of wages. We are not considering the rest of the part as overheads. We are not doing that. So generally in an organization, whatever we pay to direct workers, generally I'm saying, whatever we are paying to direct workers, we treat as part of wages only. We absorb them as direct wages only on the basis of the effective rate. Clear? Can I have the total cost, please? 6640, 6840. Is it 6840? Okay. Total cost comes to 6840? No, okay. 189240. 6840 is must be the ESI. So the total cost is 189. How much is this? 240. 189240 is the total cost divided by effective hours. It's always effective hours. Total cost divided by effective hours. Effective hours means the productive hours only. So 300 of 8 hours each. So 300 number of working days. Okay, number of working days, 300 of 8 hours each. So 300, out of these, the worker is entitled to 50 days leave as on full pay. We are deducting the leave. We are calculating the effective working hours. So 300 minus 15, that means 285 days were actually worked. 285 days into 8 hours. So how much are the total hours? 285 into 8. Total hours are 2280 hours. 2280 hours. You will get the absorption rate per hour. You will get the absorption rate of wages per hour. Clear? And this rate is including everything, the entire labor cost you are paying to the direct worker. This rate will include everything. Clear? That's why we are doing the effective hours. The net working productive hours we are taking. We will deduct all the holidays, all the paid leaves, all the idle time hours, everything we will deduct to calculate effective hours. Clear? Can I have the rate, please? How much the rate is coming? Anybody can give me the rate? How shall I calculate? 189240 divided by 2280. 83 is the effective rate per hour. 83. Here? Okay, yes. 83 is the absorbed rate of wages per hour. So in this question, we have absorbed the entire cost we are paying to direct workers as part of direct wages only. We are not considering the employer contribution, the non-monetary benefits, all the holiday pays, everything we are not considering as overheads. We are considering everything as direct cost. Clear? So students, I hope you have understood what is the idea and concept behind absorption of wages. Clear? Okay, so this is the solution also is given to us. So this is the total. And this is the answer we have calculated. So take a note of the fresh question. Yes. Srinivasan, it's very clear from this question that you have to calculate the wage rate per hour for costing purposes. If they are asking wage rate per hour, that means you have to assume that we have to absorb as a direct wage rate only. Otherwise, they would say how much, you have to calculate how much is the direct cost and how much is the overhead. So through the language of the question, you will be able to understand. So if they're asking you to calculate wage rate per hour, that means they're asking you to absorb the wages as the direct wages only. Otherwise, they would ask you how much is the direct cost and how much you would take it to overheads. So in that case, the employer contribution, you will take it to overheads. Clear? The holiday pay, you will take it to overheads. So from the language of the question, it will be clear to you. All right. Okay, so let us move further. Very good. So absorption rates of employee cost, exactly what we have done. So see, these are the monetary benefits which you receive, monetary, and the next is non-monetary. So there is another, again, discussion point. Monetary you should take to direct and all monetary should be taken to overheads. Or again, the way we do, एवरीथिंग मॉनेटरी एंड नॉन मॉनेटरी दोनों को ही एब्जॉर्ब करो लेबर कॉस्ट में. क्लियर? सो वन पार्ट ऑफ द डिस्कशन इज कि जो हॉलीडे पे है, कॉन्ट्रीब्यूशंस है, दैट पार्ट ऑफ शुड गो टू ओवरहेड्स एंड द basic DA, overtime, bonus, that should go to your the direct cost. The other point of discussion is monetary. All monetary should go to direct, and all monetary should go to overheads, or everything should go to overhead. Everything should go to direct cost, the way we have also done in the last question. So for direct workers, the ideal method is to charge jobs by supplying per hour. So normally this is what we do in practice also, and they're also saying the ideal method, because we are paying everything to direct workers. Anything which we are paying to direct workers should be a direct cost. Nothing which we are paying to direct workers should go to overheads. So if we take them to overhead, that means we are not adhering to the main principle that direct cost should go to anything which we pay to direct workers should be a direct cost. So if we are paying something to the direct workers and treating as overheads, that means we are contradicting with the main fundamental which we always learn. Clear? So everything you pay to direct workers, monetary, non-monetary, perquisites, any benefits, any facility or any contribution on any leave pay, any whatever you are paying to direct workers should be taken as a direct cost. Clear? By calculating the rate per hour. How you calculate? Everything, take everything, whatever cost, and by the direct employee hour minus idle time. That means the effective hours. So that will give you the rate. Alternative method is monetary ko aap only the basic wages and DNS allowance you should take as direct. Rest everything you take it as overhead. So again, this is not followed very, popularly. The common method is to treat everything what you are paying to direct workers as direct cost, and, by calculating the rate per hour. So students, I hope you have got this, the concept of absorption of wages. It's a very, very important and very relevant concept to understand the costing in a different way. Clear? Okay, so let's move on to other considerations. Efficiency rating. Efficiency, again, we have been doing premium bonus methods. We have been discussing efficiency. So if you are, completing the task in less than the standard time. So if you are taking time less than the time allowed, you are efficient. If you are taking more time than the standard time, you are less efficient. Clear? So this is what exactly is efficiency rating procedures. So the efficiency rating is done with respect to all the workers, and then accordingly, see, it's very important. For example, normally if we have to make a budget. For example, we have to make a budget for the labor time. How much labor hours we require in a year? Accordingly, we will arrange how many workforce we require. Here, so let us see, we estimate that 1000 hours are required in 1 year. So accordingly, we will hire the labor. If the requirement is 5000 hours of labor in a year as per the production requirement, then accordingly we will increase the labor recruitment कि हमें उतने workers चाहिए. So we have to make a budget. But for example, when we do the efficiency rating of our current workers, it is seen that 1000 hours will be required. What I'm saying is very important. Try to understand. This efficiency rating is very important to make the budget. So we say that the standard time should be total 1000 hours we require in a year. But these 1000 hours will be, used only when our laborers are 100% efficient. That means they are, whatever time you will give, they will exactly work according to that time. They will at least not exceed. So our workers are at least 100% efficient. So if I'm saying one task is to be done in 5 hours, our workers will do it, in less than 5, or at least in 5 hours. So that means if the laborers are efficient, then to 1000 hours is okay. But if our laborers are not efficient, If they are 80% efficient, these efficiency rating will tell us our workers are how much efficient. If our workers are only 80% efficient, then this standard time is also wrong. If I say at 100% efficiency, listen what I am asking you now. If I say my workers are 100% efficient, then the standard time would be 1000 hours, which my workers would be requiring to complete that finished product. But if I am saying my workers are 80% efficient, then is this the standard time, or the standard time should be more, or the standard time should be less? I repeat, if I say that my workers are not 100% efficient, they are 80% efficient, then can you give me the standard time at 80% efficiency rate? Give me the standard time. How much standard time should I fix if my workers are only 80% efficient? So once I know the efficiency of my workers, it's very important to calculate the standard time accordingly. Accordingly, we'll make the budget requirement. Accordingly, we'll make the production requirement. Accordingly, we will hire those many workers. So this point is very important. Can you tell me how much the standard time it will require? Yes, time will be more, of course. If the workers are 100% efficient, time will be 1000 hours. If the workers are 80% efficient, standard time should be set at a higher level. ज़्यादा time लगेगा, फिर 1000 hours नहीं लगेंगे. 1000 hours तभी लगेंगे अगर workers 100% efficient हैं. मेरे workers उतने efficient नहीं हैं. तो standard time should be fixed at a higher percentage. So can you tell me how much standard time? 1000 into 100 divided by 80. It would take 1250 hours because my workers are 80% efficient. Yes, very good. 1250 hours. This is exactly what I'm trying to explain. And this is the importance of efficiency rating. So accordingly, the standard time should be fixed. Not as per 100% efficiency. नहीं तो आप कभी भी standard time meet नहीं कर पाओगे. You will not even give regard how much efficient your workers are. So आप ये कैसे फिक्स करोगे आप 80% efficiency है कि नहीं? You will analyze the workers. आप उनकी performance देखोगे, last years की performance क्या है. On the basis of that you will come to know कि वो normally कितना time लेते हैं एक task को complete करने के लिए. अगर वो हमेशा ही ज़्यादा time ले रहे हैं, that means they are less efficient. So standard time should be fixed as according to their efficiency, not as per the objectives of the organization. Otherwise, you will never be able to achieve. आप 1000 hours ही रख रहे हो, you are not giving regard to that your workers are not efficient. Still, you are keeping 1000 hours. Your workers will never be able to meet it. या तो आप उनको incentives दो, motivation करो, that's a separate thing. Then you increase their efficiency, then they will, meet the 1000 hours benchmark. So if you are sure that, okay, you will, give them incentives, then otherwise you have to increase. So I'm just giving you an example how this efficiency rating procedure works. Clear? So time allowed and time taken. So this is going to give you the efficiency, of course. So we determine the standard time or the performance standards. We measure the actual performance and we compute the efficiency rating. And this is the use for efficiency rating, which I have told you, to make the budgets, to make the, forecast for the future, to hire the workforce accordingly. So I hope you've understood the concept. Okay, moving further, employee labor turnover, very, very important, question and very important problem in front of an organization. Labor turnover means at what rate your labor, the workforce is changing. More people are coming, many people are leaving, you are expanding, so new joinees are there. So there are people who are leaving, there are people who are joining on new positions, and there are people who are replacing the people who have left. That means filling the vacancies. So there are three types of flow which happen. Number one, new people joining in new positions. New positions are created. Second, people are leaving. And third, people are replacing, that means filling the vacancies of people, those who have left. So three types of movement happens. And how frequent is that movement? that will be depicted by labor turnover. अगर बहुत ज्यादा जल्दी लोग जा रहे हैं तो labor turnover is higher and which carries a cost to the organization. Clear? So labor turnover is the rate of change in the composition of employee force. Composition मतलब पुराने नए कितने आते जा रहे हैं. The replacement method. So there are three methods. So because there are three types of movement, so how much is the rate of replacement? कितना जल्दी आप वो वैकेंसी भरते हो? Whosoever has left, how much, what is the rate that you fill that vacancy? So that replacement means वैकेंसी आप फिल कर रहे हो, जो जा रहे हैं उनकी जगह पे जो दूसरा आ रहा है, that is replacement. So number of employees replaced, average number of employees during the period. Average number means the number of employees at the beginning and the number of employees at the end, and you take the average. So number of employees replaced divided by average number of employees during that certain period into 100. So it's going to give you the percentage of replacement which is happening in your organization. Clear? तो अगर बहुत ज्यादा हाई है इसका मतलब आप बहुत जल्दी वैकेंसी फिल कर लेते हो, वैकेंसीज खाली नहीं रहती. सो नंबर ऑफ रिप्लेसमेंट्स. क्लियर? मूविंग ऑन टू सेपरेशन मेथड. दिस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. हाउ मच सेपरेशन हैपन्स इन अ ईयर in your organization. This is going to give you number of employees separated. Higher separation rate, that means बहुत ज्यादा employees आपके organization से leave करते हैं, which is a very unhealthy sign. It's a warning sign. इतनी जल्दी employees leave करेंगे तो new employees रखोगे, उसकी cost, new recruitment की cost, new employees को आप training दोगे, उसकी cost. ठीक है? So see, labor turnover carries a huge cost for the organization. जो छोड़ के जाएगा उसका वो जो चला गया, वो जो प्रोडक्शन में कंट्रीब्यूट करता था, आपके प्रॉफिट में कंट्रीब्यूट करता था, वो एकदम रुक जाएगा. जो न्यू आएगा वो एकदम तो वो एफिशिएंसी नहीं दे पाएगा, उसको टाइम लगेगा. आप उसको ट्रेनिंग दोगे, उसकी भी कॉस्ट है. तो जो आपका लॉस हो रहा है वो भी लॉस है, प्लस जो आप एक्स्ट्रा ट्रेनिंग दोगे उसकी दोबारा से नए बंदे को ट्रेनिंग दोगे, उसकी कॉस्ट है. So labor turnover is a big, problem in every organization. HR department is the main responsibility है, वो labor turnover को आपको periodic review करना है. जितना ज्यादा हो सके आप लोगों को रोक के रखिए, उनको आप incentives दीजिए, promotions दीजिए, good working conditions दो. यही reason होते हैं why employees leave. You give them good working conditions, you give them good promotions, you give them good incentives, you give them good facility, you give them medical facility, you give them crèche facility, जो females काम कर रही हैं, you give them crèche facilities, you give them flexibility of work. अगर कोई problem है, you can work from home. So if you will give such facilities and incentives to your employees, I'm telling you, nobody wants to leave an organization. So if you are giving that employee, if you are giving that facility and that good working conditions and flexibility to an employee, I'm telling you, no employee would leave. All right, promotions unko do, performance appraisals unko do, bonuses unko mile, they will not leave. Nobody wants, to go in a different setup again. दोबारा से आप सबको prove करो. अपनी organization में everybody knows you and you know everybody, you know the system. So unless it is, other factors, then I think it's always good that you retain your employees through incurring some extra cost. लेकिन वो still better है. At least they are efficient. They are contributing. They know the system. Clear? Separated employees means employees, those who leave the organization. Separation means leave. Those who leave the organization. Separate हो गए ना organization से, जिन्होंने resign कर दिया. Okay, flux method is both separated and replacements. That means flux method will tell you कि पूरा का पूरा कितना movement हो रहा है. ठीक है? तो एक average movement का idea लगता है. That is the flux method. So number of employees separated and number of employees replaced divided by average number. So it will give you an average idea about the movement of the employees. कितना separation है और कितना वापस आए हैं. So another way of this average method is number of replacements and new joinees and separation. Total movement. New joinees means जो किसी की vacancy fill नहीं कर रहे हैं. New joinees means they are joining new positions which are created. New positions created. Clear? And replacements means joinees टू फिल वैकेंसी, जो ऑलरेडी वैकेंसी है, एग्जिस्टिंग पोजीशन को फिल करना रिप्लेसमेंट है, और न्यू पोजीशन पे क्रिएट करना, उसके लिए न्यू आप एक्सपेंशन कर रहे हो, आपको 2 मैनेजर चाहिए, पहले एक मैनेजर था और एक ने छोड़ दिया, दूसरा मैनेजर आया, वो रिप्लेसमेंट है। आपको एक और मैनेजर चाहिए, तो आप 2 मैनेजर्स हैं, तो जो दूसरा मैनेजर आ रहा है दैट इज अ न्यू ज्वाइनिंग एक्सेशन. सो द वर्कर्स ज्वाइनिंग इंक्लूडिंग रिप्लेसमेंट्स, टोटल न्यू ज्वाइनीज आर कॉल्ड एज एक्सेशंस. टोटल न्यू ज्वाइनीज आर कॉल्ड एज एक्सेशन. सो आप दोनों तरह से फ्लक्स मेथड कर सकते हो, only the replacements and other is replacements plus new joinees. Of course, separations are there. Clear? So this is how we calculate the labor turnover. There are 3 types of method: replacements, separation, and flux method. So employee turnover again is very, very important consideration. So I just discussed the causes of employee turnover: personal, unavoidable, and avoidable. See, personal causes, this management can't do much about the personal causes, basically. All right, management can't do much about personal causes. आपकी फैमिली प्रॉब्लम्स है, मेडिकल इशू है, आपकी एज हो गई है, या आपके यू हैव गॉट अ वेरी वेरी गुड ऑफर, हाई प्रमोशन, हाई पे. सो पर्सनल कॉजेज से अगर आप छोड़ रहे हो, ऑर्गेनाइजेशन कैन नॉट डू मच. अनअवॉइडेबल कॉजेज मीन्स मैनेजमेंट, ऑर्गेनाइजेशन इज टेलिंग यू टू लीव, बिजनेस नहीं है, सेल्स नहीं है, बिजनेस बंद हुआ है, ऑफ सीजन है, so the management is asking you to leave. Again, यहाँ पे भी मैनेजमेंट बहुत ज्यादा कुछ हेल्प नहीं कर सकते, यहाँ पे भी टर्नओवर होगा. So in personal causes, management cannot avoid the turnover to after a certain extent. Unavoidable causes, the management again can't avoid it to a certain extent. Only the avoidable causes जहां पे management can control the labor turnover. Avoidable causes means there are no promotions happening, I'm not getting a good work, मुझे अच्छा काम दो, clerical work है, so you're not getting a good premium work, quality work आपको नहीं मिल रहा, आपके सीनियर से आपकी नहीं बन रही, आपके सबॉर्डिनेट्स आपके नहीं सुन रहे, so you are having clashes with your seniors, you are having clashes with your juniors, good working conditions are not there, let us say crèche facility is not there, so females are struggling, transport facility is not there. So avoidable causes, if the management can work on avoidable causes, then they can reduce labor turnover. तो अगर आपको पे कम मिल रही है तो थोड़ा सा इंसेंटिव दे दो, उसकी सैलरी बढ़ा दो, वो रुक जाएगा. So the management can focus on avoidable causes to control labor turnover. Is it clear? इफेक्ट ऑफ लेबर टर्नओवर आई एक्सप्लेन्ड यू. ऑफ कोर्स सबसे पहले तो आपका प्रोडक्शन और आपका बिजनेस का जो नॉर्मल फ्लो है वो डिस्टर्ब हो जाता है, क्योंकि पुराना जो है वो बंदा निकल गया. नाउ जो न्यू वर्कर्स हैं, देयर एफिशिएंसी विल बी लो, वो एकदम आके उतना तो प्रोडक्शन नहीं कर सकते जो पुराना एम्प्लॉय कर रहा था. एंड प्लस आपको उसको दोबारा से ट्रेनिंग देनी होगी न्यू एम्प्लॉय को. तो जितना न्यू एम्प्लॉय काम करेगा वो ब्रेक भी करेगा, वो वेस्टेज भी करेगा, क्योंकि वो एफिशिएंट नहीं है, उसको पता ही नहीं है काम कैसे करना है. अभी एवरी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन हैज अ डिफरेंट सेटअप. तो आप चाहे जितना भी एक्सपीरियंस्ड हो, लेकिन एक नई ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में आके यू स्ट्रगल इन द इनिशियल पीरियड, you get to you need time to get settled in that organization. Cost of recruitment and training, of course it carries a cost. Recruitment also carries a cost. Clear? So the cost of labor turnover, one is preventive cost and one is replacement cost. Preventive cost is आप employees को रोकने की cost. रोकने की cost means you give them medical facility, you give them training facility, you give them recreation facility, आप crèche खोल दो, आप transport facility रखो, आप एक club facility दे दो. So if you want to retain the employees, you prevent return, you understand prevention मतलब रोकना. So if you want to prevent or you want to avoid labor turnover, तो आपको कुछ cost तो देनी पड़ेगी, उनकी wages increase करनी पड़ेंगी. That is preventive cost. Replacement is now the employees have left, but the new employees के cost है. So preventive cost is incurred on old employees and replacement cost is the loss due to the separation or the increased cost on new employees. Clear? So I'm repeat, preventive cost होती है जो पुराने employees पे होती है, और replacement cost है जो नए employees को training के लिए होती है, and also the loss of production and the wastage and the breakage which they do. So this is the replacement cost. So these are the 2 types of major costs which incur due to employee turnover. All right. I hope you are able to understand how these turnover costs are absorbed. These turnover costs are part of overheads. All right. They are the central organization cost. So these are the overheads cost. Okay. I'm explaining in Hindi also in between, Gunjan. So I have to create a balance. I cannot explain everything in Hindi. All right. Okay. So we have this illustration also for the cost. This management increasing employee turnover in this company. Before analyzing the causes and taking remedial steps, an idea, it wants to have an idea of the profit foregone. So this management wants that it is increasing labor turnover. So how much profit we are losing, clear, because of this labor turnover. Of course, the production will be, the production will fall, the sales will fall. Last year sales are this and profit volume ratio is this. Profit volume ratio, you can understand the profit ratio. It's a concept of marginal costing, but you can understand the profit ratio is 20%. The total number of actual hours worked. Okay, the actual hours worked, that means the productive hours were 4.5 lakhs. The actual direct employee hours include 30,000 training new recruits, out of which half were unproductive. So out of 4.5 lakhs hours, 15,000 were unproductive. They were unproductive. So we have to calculate the productive effective hours. So 4.30 hours are productive. Clear? As a result of the delays by the personnel department in filling vacancies, so personnel department took time also. 1 lakh potential productive hours excluding these unproductive, excluding these 15,000 hours, were 15,000 hours, yes, were lost. So 15,000 hours were lost earlier and 1 lakh more hours have been lost due to delay in the filling of vacancies. So 1 lakh 15,000 hours are unproductive and 4,30,000 hours are productive. Clear? So this is, I have understood the whole scene. So there were 4.45 lakhs hours which were used by direct workers. Out of this, they were given training also, 30,000 hours, out of which 15,000 hours were unproductive. Over and above these 15,000 hours, 1 lakh productive hours were also lost because of delay in the recruitment process. Clear? So, and these costs are, okay, so these costs, settlement costs due to leaving, recruitment, selection, training. So these are basically the replacement cost, you can say. So these are the replacement cost. So these are the extra cost also you are incurring. Clear? Assuming the production lost as a consequence of employee turnover could have been sold at prevailing prices. Okay. They are saying that if the production which we have lost due to unproductive hours, अगर वो हम sell करते तो हमारा कितना profit जो है we have been sold, find the profit foregone last year, how much profit we have lost. Clear? So this 83 lakh 3,300 sales are a result of 4 lakh 30,000 hours. I repeat, this sales of last year of 83 lakh is a result of 4 lakh 30,000 hours. And we have lost the sales for 1 lakh 15,000 hours. So how much is the sales for 1 lakh 15,000 hours? If 83 lakh 3,000 sales, 83 lakh, 1 minute, 83 lakh 3,300, okay. 83 lakh 3,300 is the sales out of 4 lakh 30,000 hours. 4 lakh 30,000 hours. So how much is the sales we have lost due to 1 lakh 15,000 hours? So just calculate the value, please. How much is the sales coming for 1 lakh 15,000 hours? Can you give me the figure? This calculator is not working properly. Okay. Now it's working. Okay, so the sales for 1,15,000 hours. Now I think I should clear this also, this part of the story. I hope you have understood this. So the sales we have lost is 22 lakh. If I calculate on my laptop, I can calculate. This is the sales we have lost. We could have done the sales on the basis of 1,15,000 hours. Yes, on the basis of 1,15,000 hours, we have lost the sales 22,20,650. So how much is the contribution we have lost? All right. So how much is the profit we have lost? 20%. 20% of profit foregone due to these the loss of sales. So 22,20,650 into 20%, 4,44,130 profit we have lost. All right. 4,44,130 profit we have lost due to this employee turnover. All right. So this is what we have to calculate, and plus all these total costs. So this is the total cost due to employee turnover. So just quickly, I just compiled the whole story. The sales of 83 lakhs were for 4,30,000 productive hours. So how much sales we have lost on 1,15,000 unproductive hours? So we have lost 22,20,650 sales due to these unproductive hours. So how much profit we have lost? 4,44,130 profit we have lost, plus all these costs, 43, 26, 12, and 13. So this will be the total cost due to the employee turnover. So this is what very good question to practice for employee turnover. So I hope you have understood this question. Very good. Yes, this is the sales and this is the profit plus all the replacement cost this company has incurred. All right. So this is all about the entire effect of labor turnover and the cost which the company is incurring. So I have a good last question. Yes. So I hope you have understood. 557. Okay, 557 must be the total. So 444,130 plus all this cost. I think that should be 550, 557,930. So a couple of students have given me this amount. I hope this is the correct amount. Okay, 557,930 is the total cost, the profit lost and the replacement cost. Okay, very good. Okay, so this is the total. Profit foregone is not 557. Profit foregone is 444. Other costs are the total loss is 557. It includes the other cost also. Profit foregone is 444 only. Okay, good that you have understood. Let's move on. Okay, so this is the productive hours and these are the unproductive hours. Okay, so this is done already here. This is the sales. These are the sales lost. Sales lost due to unproductive hours. And this is the contribution of profit lost. Okay. So this is also lost. So this is what we have calculated plus everything. So it will be the total cost. So main calculation is this. How much profit you have lost due to the unproductive hours because of labor turnover. Clear? Good. So I hope you have understood this illustration. Let's move forward. All right, the last topic of the employee cost session, direct expenses. So we have done with employee cost. Now the direct expenses. See, the factory cost comprises of three elements, or any cost comprises of three elements: material, labor, and overheads. So direct cost comprises of three elements: direct material, direct labor, and direct expenses. Together form part of prime cost, which we'll be understanding when we'll be doing cost sheet. This is the first important landmark of a cost record, the prime cost. Prime cost is 100% direct. 100% direct is prime cost. We also call direct cost as prime cost. It's primary cost. Clear? So there are three elements: direct material we have done, direct labor we have done, and now it's direct expenses. Again, as direct material and direct labor, direct expenses are also they are directly attributable to a product. जो एक प्रोडक्ट या कोई भी आप मशीन या जॉब जो भी कर रहे हो उस पे डायरेक्ट इनकर हो रहा है, that means no other product, no other job is sharing that. Clear? So if you are making two jobs, तो जो भी आपका जो भी उसका एक प्रोडक्ट को बनाने के लिए जो भी आपको एग्जैक्ट डायरेक्ट एक्सपेंडिचर करना है विच इज इनकर्ड जस्ट फॉर दैट जॉब, जस्ट फॉर दैट प्रोडक्ट, इज अ डायरेक्ट एक्सपेंस. So royalty paid for production, all right? So royalty is a direct cost. Higher charges, you are, hiring a special machine for that product. So that machine is used only for that product. Again, direct cost. Cost for product service design. So if you are incurring the cost on the product design, again, it's a direct cost. Specific software, if any product has to use and you are incurring cost. Other expenses which are directly related on the product or the job, it is called a direct expense. So treatment, of course, see, I've also written, it forms part of the prime cost. You will understand prime cost in detail when we'll be doing the cost sheet. It can be directly traceable and attributable in case of lump sum payment. अब lump sum payment है तो आप estimated production पे उसको spread कर सकते हो, ठीक है? So if the direct expenses is in a lump sum amount, so every period production पे you can spread a percentage. So 10% every quarter पे 10% आप charge कर दो, clear? So if the expenses are an insignificant amount, तब आप उसको overheads treat करो. Overheads means indirect. So if the amount of direct expenses is very very insignificant कि आपको उसके लिए separate head नहीं बनाना, तो आप उसको overhead treat कर दो. But if the amount is main, the amount is important, the amount is significant, तब you have to create a head as direct expense. So direct expense, direct material and direct labor, it is all right. So okay, there is an illustration also. Quickly we can do this illustration. You have to calculate direct expenses attributable to each job. Each job, that means the 3 jobs. Okay, there are 3 jobs. Job number A, job number B, and job number C. So A, B, and C. And there are 6 costs given to you. You have to tell which cost is direct expenses. Which are these expenses are direct expenses. Office and administration. Are they direct expenses, office and administration? I have a doubt in one question of TYK. What is TYK? Material cost. Can you take in next class? All right. You can just tell me the query because I'll just get back to you in the next class. If you can just tell me the page number or something. Profit foregone is given. That means study material, it's given you the total cost foregone. Of course, see, if you are incurring the cost also, that is also part of profit, but actual profit on sales, the contribution is 444 only. Okay, test your knowledge. All right. So just give me the question number. I can just get back to you later. Office is general. Yes, office is not direct. Clear? Product blueprint cost of job A. Yes, this is direct expenses for job A. Higher charges for machine. Yes, it is a direct expenses for product B or job B, whatever it is, job B. Salary to office attendant. Salary to office attendant. It is not a direct expense. It's overhead. Clear? Office attendance, it's an administration expense. One-time license fee paid for software used to make computer. Yes, it is a direct expense for job C. Clear? Salary paid to marketing manager. It's a overhead. So this is overhead. This is overhead and this is overhead. Overhead means indirect. So one product blueprint is a direct expense for A. So any expense you are incurring specifically for any product or any job, that is called direct expense. Rest, every expense is indirect and is shared between all the products and among all the jobs. All right. Office is not a direct cost. So students, that is all for the module of employee cost and direct expenses. I've explained you in detail many important things. take care of all the important concepts I've explained you, especially the difference between earnings and employee cost, all right, and many other concepts. I hope I make you able to, make you understand the important concepts, how to approach the question, what all things you have to keep in mind. Don't be careless in reading the questions, all right. You can minimize the error and you can minimize the mistakes you can make in exams, all right. So till now, thank you. We'll meet in the next session of the whatever unit I'll be taking. So I'll meet you in that session. Till then, happy learning. Good day. Thank you.